up of order. Prime Minister. Prime Minister, when I stand up, please sit down. Can I just say, we don't use props in this house, and I will certainly ensure that if you do need reminding, I certainly will.
The unthinkable has just happened in Westminster. Prime Minister's questions explodes as Reform MPs taunt a visibly flustered Keir Starmer, accusing him of yet another humiliating U-turn, his 13th. And this time, there's nowhere to hide. The Speaker struggles to keep order. MPs shout across the chamber. Labour benches look increasingly uneasy. And Starmer starts waffling. The tension is electric, as the House turns its attention to the leader of the opposition. Kemi Badenoch rises, and from her very first sentence, it's clear she's come armed. Not with questions, but with a list. "Can I welcome the Prime Minister's latest U-turn?" she says, dripping with sarcasm. "I feel like I say that every week." Laughter ripples across the opposition benches. Reform MPs smirk.
Here comes the leader of the opposition, Kemi Badenoch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I welcome the Prime Minister's latest U-turn? I feel like I say that every week.
Labour MPs shift uncomfortably in their seats. Badenoch doesn't pause. She goes straight for the jugular. "The reason he U-turns all the time is because he is clueless," she fires. "He's blowing around like a plastic bag in the wind. No sense of direction whatsoever."
The reason he U-turns all the time is because he is clueless. He is blowing around like a plastic bag in the wind, no sense of direction whatsoever.
And then she starts counting, one by one. Winter fuel allowance, U-turn. Two-child benefit cap, U-turn. Grooming gangs inquiry, U-turn.
The winter fuel allowance, U-turn. Waspy women, U-turn. The two-child benefit cap, U-turn. Grooming gangs inquiry, U-turn. The family farms tax, U-turn. Digital ID, U-turn. Jury trials? We hope so. I think that's going to be the next one, Mr. Speaker. Week after week, these poor people sitting behind him have to defend the indefensible, only for him to U-turn a few days later.
Before we continue, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Britain Daily. It's completely free, and it helps us keep bringing you the hard-hitting stories that matter. Back to the chaos. By now, the chamber is roaring. Reform MPs heckle loudly. Opposition MPs laugh openly. Labour MPs stare straight ahead, stone-faced, clearly frustrated at being forced, yet again, to defend the indefensible. Badenoch twists the knife further. "Week after week," she says, "these poor people sitting behind him have to defend the indefensible, only for him to U-turn a few days later." And then comes the line that really rattles the Prime Minister. She reveals that one of Starmer's own cabinet ministers has reportedly told a journalist that Labour is now so unpopular it might be worth rolling the dice on a new leader.
Mr. Speaker, one of his cabinet ministers told a journalist, "We are so unpopular at the moment, I've come to the conclusion it's worth rolling the dice on a new leader." They're right, aren't they?
Mr. Speaker, here's the difference. I changed my party, and that's why we stand here with a majority Labour government. She sits there with her party that lost 2/3 of their MPs at the last election, and she's losing more every week. They're queuing up to join the member of Clacton's laundry service for disgraced Tory politicians.
The House erupts. MPs shout. The Speaker calls for order. Reform MPs loudly taunt the Prime Minister. Badenoch delivers the knockout punch. They're right, aren't they? All eyes turn to Keir Starmer. This is the moment he needs clarity, authority, control. Instead, what follows is waffle. Starmer rises, clearly irritated, attempting to change the subject. He attacks the opposition instead of addressing the charge. He talks about elections, defections, and past governments. Anything except the question in front of him. Reform MPs jeer. The Speaker intervenes again. Labour MPs look increasingly tense. And it's painfully obvious. This Prime Minister has no answer. PMQs hasn't just exposed another U-turn, it's exposed a leadership under siege. And this is only the beginning. As Keir Starmer tries to regain his footing, the atmosphere inside the Commons turns openly hostile. The Speaker calls for calm, but it's already too late. From the Reform benches, the taunts grow louder. MPs shout, "U-turn," across the chamber, mocking the Prime Minister's every word. Each interruption chips away at what little authority he has left. Starmer pauses, glares across the House, then continues, only to be drowned out again. Labour MPs behind him look exasperated. Some shake their heads, others stare at their desks. A few mutter angrily among themselves. They know what's happening. This isn't just a tough PMQs session, it's a public unraveling. Starmer attempts to shift the focus, attacking Reform MPs over defections and accusing them of political opportunism. But the move backfires instantly. Reform MPs seize on it, laughing and shouting back that even Labour MPs don't know what he stands for anymore. One Reform MP bellows, "Which policy is it today?" The Speaker rises again, urging members to lower the temperature, but the House refuses to cool down. What makes matters worse is Starmer's tone. Instead of firm answers, he delivers long, winding responses, heavy on talking points, light on substance. The more he speaks, the more restless the chamber becomes. MPs exchange glances. The murmuring grows louder. It's classic waffle, and everyone knows it. Kemi Badenoch doesn't let him off the hook. She rises again, reminding the House that this isn't just about digital ID. It's about trust. About a Prime Minister who says one thing and does another, week after week, policy after policy. People out there are watching this, she warns. They don't see leadership, they see confusion. That line lands hard. Reform MPs clap loudly. Opposition benches cheer. Labour MPs sit in grim silence. Starmer tries to respond, but he's clearly rattled now. His voice tightens. He gestures sharply. He speaks faster, as if hoping speed might substitute for clarity. It doesn't. The Speaker is forced to intervene again, warning MPs that continued disruption will lead to removals. The threat hangs in the air, but the damage is already done. This PMQS session has slipped completely out of Starmer's control. The narrative has flipped. This isn't about reform or the opposition anymore. It's about a Prime Minister who looks cornered, defensive and exhausted. A leader constantly reacting instead of leading. And as the shouting finally begins to die down, one thing becomes painfully clear to everyone watching. Keir Starmer hasn't just faced criticism today. He's faced something far worse. Ridicule. And in politics, once that sets in, it's almost impossible to shake. By the final stretch of Prime Minister's questions, the House of Commons is no longer debating policy. It's judging leadership. The Speaker rises once more, voice sharper now, demanding order. He warns MPs that the chamber is descending into chaos and that shouting from the benches must stop. But the warning itself only underlines the truth. This session has spiralled beyond control. Keir Starmer stands at the dispatch box, visibly strained. His earlier confidence has evaporated. Gone are the rehearsed lines and careful phrasing. In their place, defensive answers, half-finished sentences, and repeated attempts to talk over the noise. It doesn't work. From the reform benches, MPs continue to mock him openly. "U-turn," echoes again, followed by laughter. One MP shouts that even Labour doesn't know what it believes anymore. Another points to the Labour benches and asks how many more reversals they're expected to defend. The camera catches it all. Labour MPs look furious. Not at the opposition, but at their own leader. Arms folded, faces tight. The frustration is written all over them. They've been left stranded, forced to explain policy shifts that no longer make sense. Starmer tries one last time to regain the initiative. He launches into an attack on defections, accusing reform of welcoming disgruntled politicians and failed careers. But the response is brutal. Reform MPs fire back instantly, shouting that people are leaving because Labour has no spine and no direction. The Speaker interrupts again, this time sternly. Order, order. He reminds the House that PMQs must proceed properly, but the intervention feels less like control and more like damage limitation. The spectacle has already played out. Starmer delivers a final answer, longer, vaguer, and more rambling than the rest. It's full of slogans, empty reassurances, and familiar deflections. He never directly addresses the core charge, that his leadership is defined by endless reversals. And everyone knows it. As he sits down, the contrast is stark. The opposition benches are animated. Reform MPs are smiling, whispering, nodding. Labour MPs remain stone-faced. The moment has passed, and it hasn't gone Starmer's way. Political commentators will later describe it as one of the most uncomfortable PMQ sessions of his leadership. Social media clips will rack up millions of views within hours. Headlines will repeat the same word again and again, flustered, because that's what viewers saw. A Prime Minister heckled by Reform MPs, mocked over his 13th U-turn, unable to silence the chamber, forced to rely on the Speaker just to be heard. And perhaps most damaging of all, a leader who looked like he no longer commands his own house. As MPs file out and the noise finally fades, one question hangs over Westminster. If Keir Starmer can't control PMQs, how can he control the country?